Welcome back to an episode of Let's Build Twitter. We're in episode 124. As always, if you want access to that private repository, check out the description below. I've got a link to a video that will walk you through exactly how to get access to that, as well as I am live recording all of my episodes now. So if you gotta hang out as I'm recording these, or even just see where we're at before the episodes come out, check the description down below for my streaming schedule. So with that being said, let's hop into what we work on today. In this episode, we continue working on the backend to get the polls working. We modify the poll service to be able to generate the polls and poll choices when a post with the poll is created. Then we set up a new controller for the poll and create an endpoint to allow users to be able to cast a vote on a poll, and then also debug the original voting method we created in the service to get it working from the previous episode. As always, I'm using Encoder, and let's hop straight into development. So now we can vote on a poll. Now what we want to be able to do, set up the controller and let's just see if it works. So new, we'll say class, and we're gonna go ahead and just call this poll controller, and we'll throw @rest controller on this. We'll throw @request mapping on it, @request mapping to /poll. I'm interested to see if it's gonna work or not. I don't have high hopes, but you never know, it could work. So now we have that private final, and then we'll say private final poll service at autowired, and we'll say public and poll controller, and we'll have our poll service this dot poll service is equal to poll service. Let's go ahead and import everything we need to import our poll service and this. So we are going to need to go ahead and update to create post ETO. So create post ETO is now going to have a private poll on it, and then private poll, and we'll pass in the poll. It could be null. It is what it is. This dot poll is equal to poll, and we'll go ahead and set up toString and all of that good stuff. So we'll say new and source and generate getters and setters. We'll set that up, and we'll also generate a new toString. I should really use Lombok. Lombok, something about me makes me itch. Okay, we need to update our post controller basically. So let's go into our post controller, or it might actually be post service. So I think the post controller, all it's going to do if we go into our post controller, whenever we make a post, it's just going to call create post with post GTO. We're going to want to go into our post service, and we're going to want to set this up. So we're going to basically set up another one. We're going to say if true, there is a poll that needs to be created. So we're gonna have to bring in the poll service. So private final poll service. We're gonna need to bring this in. So let's say poll service, and this dot poll service equal to poll service. We're gonna say if the dto.get poll not equal to null. For now, it's gonna system out.println, and we're gonna say there was a poll in there, and we're going to, I guess we're just gonna send it, see what happens. So we're gonna need to update our service. So the poll takes in an ID, which isn't gonna matter, an end time, and I guess this should be in date. We might have to make this like a date time or something. So we'll say local date time. We're gonna hope this works, and this needs to be a local date time. I have no idea how we're gonna pass this as a JSON inside of our, and we're jumping all over the place, but inside of our poll that we're already in here, we're gonna say @JSON format, import this. All right, and we're gonna format this as pattern equal to We're gonna go year dash month dash day, then hours in a minute. So this should take that in fine. Now these are broken though, so let's fix these. This is a good thing about doing it the way that I'm doing it here though, and doing live streams and whatnot. Now I don't have to worry about jumping all over the place trying to keep track of what I'm doing, so that's kind of nice. Generate get in a second for end time. All right, so basically that'd be like, okay, when does this poll end? What time? I'm sure time zones and stuff would be an issue, but this isn't a real project, so I don't care. So basically, let's go ahead and try to make a post with the poll in it. So let's open up Postman. It's gonna ask me to update, so I'll give it a second. So we're gonna go into our /post. Okay, so we need a poll. And inside the poll is another object, and this poll is going to have a poll ID. So we'll say poll ID. I'm just gonna put 0 because it's gonna generate one for us, and it needs an end date. So we're gonna say end time, and this is gonna be year. So we're gonna say 2023. Month is 10. Day is, let's say, 27, and then let's say that we're going to end it at 12. Yeah, let's say we're going to end it at 12:00. I'm assuming that's going to be a 24-hour clock. I have no clue. That's what the end time should look like. And then we're going to need another object because now we need the choices. Now choices, and I have no idea if this is going to work. This is going to be a mess. So choices. So now choices are going to basically have objects in themselves, I believe. So choices is actually an array of objects. So each choice, let's just start out with like a couple choices because that's the minimum is 2 choices, and we'll kind of move from there. So our poll choice, let's go into our poll choice. Our poll choice has a poll choice ID. Poll choice ID will just be 0 because we don't have an ID. Then it has like poll. So this we don't have. So this one I'm just gonna leave empty. And honestly, we could probably JSON ignore it, and we probably want to JSON ignore this, to be honest. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw JSON ignore on this at JSON ignore because I could see this causing issues. So we're gonna actually JSON ignore poll. We do want a poll text. This should probably be called choice text. And that's going to break everything, but I'll fix it. So we'll say choice text and choice text. And I know there's a fast way to do this, but whatever. Choice text. And let's fix these. So get choice text, return our choice text. And then this will be choice text. And choice text and choice text. And then finally our choice text will be choice text. Right, so now we need to add our choice text here. So we're gonna ignore the poll because we JSON ignored it. Choice text will be poll choice 1, and then we just need votes, which would be like an empty array, I believe. Votes is empty, so let's just go ahead and make 2 of these. So now we're gonna go ahead and make the other one, and we'll paste that, and this will be 2. And now let's just see if this makes a post. Hopefully we're logged in and everything. Okay, that's not good. Internal server error. Let's see. So cannot invoke list.size because value of get images is null. Okay, so this is a bug that obviously I didn't see last time. The post service, we're gonna say if DTO dot get DTO dot get images is not equal null. And that, okay, so that's a bug that I didn't see last episode, so that's cool. We can fix that. Let's try this again. Okay, so it returned nothing right now because we didn't actually create the poll or anything, but you can see there was a poll there. That did probably create a post, but I'm just gonna ignore that. Let's go ahead and system out println. Let's see if we can say DTO get poll. and see if we can console.log the poll. So we're gonna go ahead and see what the poll looks like. Okay, that's fine. So we have a poll 0 and choice 1, choice 2. The poll choice text. Okay, no, it's fine. Cool. So that's working. So now we need to go through the process of creating all of these polls. Basically, what we could do is we can create the poll first. So we'll create the poll first with empty choices. We'll create the choices and then we'll attach them. So we're gonna go ahead and say poll saved poll is equal to poll service. Actually, we're gonna say, yeah, we're gonna say poll p is equal to new poll. We need to go ahead and bring in the poll. We're gonna say p dot, we're gonna go ahead and we'll set the end time to dto dot get end time. So do dto dot get poll dot get, and then we'll say time. Maybe, is there a get end time? There we go, get end time. And then we'll go ahead, so we don't have the ID and the choices will just be empty. We might want to also set choices to a new array list of full choice. And then save that. We'll go ahead and set that. Okay, sure. Now we'll say poll saved is equal to, and we'll say poll service dot generate poll. We'll pass in p. We'll let's try to system out.println. Let's try to print out that saved poll to make sure that it has an ID now. And then once it has an ID, then we can save each individual poll choices and then kind of move on from there. So let's go ahead and make sure this works. So it didn't error out. And now we have poll ID 3. Our end date is the 27th at 12. Of course, there's no choices, right? And now actually, we don't need to do the ID because we'll just go ahead and say this is the poll. Now this part is the part that concerns me. We'll see what happens here. So we need to save each choice, and then we need to save the choices and then update the poll. So this part's going to be a little bit janky. So I'll say list poll choices is equal to, and we'll say dto.getPoll.getChoices. So now we have choices. We'll just say for int I equal to 0, I is less than choices size, I plus plus. And we need to save each choice. So we'll say poll choice is equal to choices.get 0, get I. And we'll say choice dot set, and we're going to set the poll to saved, right? And then after we set that to saved, we're going to say poll service, and we're going to say generate choice, pass in that choice, and we'll say choice is equal to this. And then let's just go ahead and make sure this is working. System out println, and let's just see if the choice has the ID on it, because that's the important thing here. I'm a little bit scared of an infinite loop. We'll see what happens. So let's just go ahead and send this. So we didn't get an issue. So poll choice 4, we have poll 3. Choices aren't set up yet, so that's why it's not broken. But what we're gonna want to go ahead and do probably is inside of our poll choice, inside of our toString, for the poll, we're gonna say poll.getID, just to be safe. And now I don't know if I actually am resetting my database every time. There seems like there's a lot of stuff going on here. Let's go ahead and come back into our post service, and we have each choice. So for each choice, go ahead and say list. This is a little bit confusing. List of poll choice, say poll choices is equal to, we'll just say new array list a poll choice. We're going to say poll choices dot add. We're going to add each choice. And then at the end of the list, we're going to go ahead and say saved dot set choices to poll choices, because those are the ones that have the actual IDs on them. And then what we'll go ahead and do is say, now what we'll do is we'll save this again. We're going to need to go ahead and set poll saved poll up here, and we're going to go ahead and say saved poll is equal to this, because we're going to need to use it down here. If it's null, it doesn't matter. So now this will be saved poll. Say saved poll dot set choices. We'll say saved poll is equal to poll repo or poll service dot. This is a hack, but whatever. Pass it and saved poll, and then let's console or system dot out println that saved poll, just to make sure that it worked. All right, let's see. Please no errors. Okay, no error. So poll ID 3, end time, choices, poll choice 1, polls 3, poll choice 2. And if we want to add more, so we could add up to 4, and I'm sure this will still work. So we'll say poll choice 3 and copy and poll choice 4. So now this is what a post is going to look like. Unfortunately, it's a little bit gross. If we have 4 choices and we send it off, we see we have poll ID 7, and that is fine. That worked. So now we need to go ahead and say p.set poll and pass in that saved poll. And let me guess, may not have been initialized. It didn't complain whenever we did the images. Let's see here. Set images is DTO. Well, it's because we call DTO.get images. Okay. So what do we want to do here? We'll just say saved poll. What if we say equal to null? Okay, whatever. Now, what happens whenever you save? And we get a poll with poll choice 1, 2, 3, and an end date. All right, so there we go. We made it so that we can basically take a poll. I don't know what else there is. We need to test the voting. So maybe we go ahead and test the voting really quick. Actually, no, we don't have a voting option. Let's see if we can cook that up really quick. So if we come into our poll controller, so we need a public vote, public poll cast vote, maybe, and this will take in, we're gonna need a special DTO for this. For this, we need the choice in the application user. So make a new DTO, new class, and this is going to be vote poll vote DTO, and this is going to take in a choice. So this will say, so private, this will be poll choice and private application user. Go ahead and import this stuff. Poll choice and this, and we'll just go ahead and generate the source, generate a constructor using fields, and we'll do a no argument as well, source, and then generate fields for no argument. And we'll do a source, getters and setters. Why is user uppercase? Fix this. User. Okay. This dot user. Generator getters and setters. So source and generate getters and setters. Finally, source and then generate string. All right, in our poll controller, this will take in a poll vote DTO, call it vote, I guess. Let's go ahead and import what we need. So import our poll vote DTO, and this will be an @put mapping /vote, I guess. We don't really need the /vote, but it is what it is. And we'll need our @request body is a .dto, and basically we're just gonna return our poll service dot vote for choice. We're gonna pass in the vote dot get choice and then vote dot get user, and it should return the poll. Fingers crossed it returns the poll with the user added to it. Let's go ahead and set this up. So we need to say localhost 8000 /vote/poll. So let's come in here, make a new request. So let's go ahead and add a request. This will be a put mapping, and put mapping, and it'll be to /poll/vote. This will be http://8000. Instead of auth, this will be poll/vote. Now we should be able to cheat this. We should be able to go into the body, raw JSON, and we need a choice, right? And we need a user. So I'm pretty sure we can fudge this for now. Poll choice ID, and we could say here, let's just take a look at a, although it's gonna reset, probably already reset. Poll choices, refresh the data. Yeah, there's no poll choices. Let's go ahead and make a post. So now we have poll choices. So poll choice ID 4. Let's say we vote for ID 4. And then there should be like user ID. Does this have our user information? Yes, it does. User ID 2. Now, keep in mind, we're gonna have the full user data whenever we do this, so it should be okay. But let's go ahead and try to make this. We got 401 on authorized. We probably need a authorization header and bearer token. I completely forgot about this. So yeah, you need to log in. So let's go into authorization, go into bearer token. Looks like it's already loaded. Terrific, of 500. Let's see what happened here. So set to add object because current votes is null. That's something I didn't think about. So let's go ahead and just add. Realistically, we should have the entire object with us. Let's go ahead and add votes in there and see if that fixes that. So go in here, go into body. We'll add votes. Realistically, we should have access to this whole thing, and we'll save. Still 500. See what the error is now. Same thing. Because return value of get poll is null. Poll choice.get poll on poll service 44. Choice.get poll. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Shoot. Update vote for choice to take in user ID and choice ID. So we'll go ahead and say integer choice ID, and we'll say might want to spell integer right. So integer. We'll say integer user ID, and we'll fix this up. We need to import a couple things. Integer user. User ID. We might bring in the service. Let me look at our user service. Let's go ahead and say public application user get user by ID and integer user ID, and this will say return user repo dot find. There should be a find by ID, right? Find by ID. Pass in that user ID, or else we'll throw a user does not exist exception. I think this is a runtime exception. I don't know for sure, but now we'll go into our poll service. We'll say private final, and this will be user service if I could type, and we'll pass in the user service here, user service, and we'll bring this in. This dot user service equal to user service. So we'll grab the user by their ID. This will make our lives a little bit easier. So what we'll do is we need to get the choice by ID. Let's go and get the entire poll first. Get the entire poll from the choice, because if you remember inside of our poll choice, it has the actual poll itself. So we have a private poll, so we should be able to get the poll. Let's go ahead and comment this out, and this needs to return the poll. Just return null for now. Right, we keep going all over the place. Poll choice PC is equal to poll choice repository dot find by ID. Not find all, just find by ID, and we'll pass in the choice ID here. Dot or else row. We need to create a new. I'm surprised that worked. Does this just throw a, oh, it just throws a no such element exception if you don't pass anything. I didn't know that. We'll keep that as is. And now we'll say that the poll is equal to PC dot poll is equal to PC dot get poll. So now we have the entire poll as well. So now what we can do is we can definitely say, set this stuff up. We could say set application user is equal, current votes is equal to PC dot get votes. We need the user also. We'll also grab the user. So grab the user. So we'll say application user is equal to user service dot get user by ID. Pass that in, and that could throw an exception, but we already have a handler for that, so it should be fine. We got the application user. We'll pass the user in. We'll say choices dot set votes. So we'll say PC dot set votes on that, and we'll save this. So PC, and we saved the PC. So let's system out print PC. I think we have a thing set up for it. So let's go ahead and try to create a poll. So we come into our Postman. We should be able to create a poll. Body, we have poll choice 1, 2, and 3. Then that. Okay, we made a post without media. It has a poll and our poll choice ID 4. So now instead of choice, so now we have, I believe, like choice ID, and now we need to also modify a couple other things to make this work. So we need to, let's go into our DTO, make a new, do I already have a create poll vote DTO? I do. So this will be, instead of choice, this will be integer, integer choice ID, and this will be, let me copy paste this, integer choice ID, and this will be integer user ID. Oops, integer user ID. Copy this, paste it here, and then we'll have this dot choice ID is equal to choice ID. This dot user ID equal to user ID. We could probably be using records for these, but whatever. And we'll generate, so source and generate getters and setters for both of these. And we'll generate a toString. Okay, that's fixed. Now obviously our controller is still broken. So here, this will be get voice ID, we get user ID, simple enough fix. And now we should be able to call the poll service. So now this is just going to say choice ID, and I think it's like 4, right? Choice ID is 4, and then we need user ID, which is probably 1 because I think the user is the first thing that gets first 2. So choice ID 2, or user ID 2. It's not going to return anything. Well, I guess it returned to 500, so that's cool. Oh, you know what? Let's try this. Post 8, 4, 3, user 2. Okay, let's try again. Okay, that's what I expected. Return nothing. That's fine. Come into here. And let's see. So we got our poll. I'm not worried about that. So our poll choice brought back the poll choice. The poll equaled 3. The text, it has a vote in there. Ooh, it has 2 votes in there. Oh wait. Oh, never mind. That's the same user. I'm just dumb. Ooh, it has a password. Although then that gets JSON ignored, so it should be fine. Okay, so that works. So now we need to go through. If we say list of poll choices equal to PC list. Oops. PC list is equal to poll.get choices. Because I want to update the poll as well. Which we might not even have to. But why is Java util not the first option there? Who knows? So now we got that. So we'll say PC list dot set index. Does this replace it though? It is. So we'll say poll dot get choices dot index of an index of poll choice. And then we're going to replace it with the poll choice. And then we will return the updated poll. So we'll say return poll repository dot save. This might be overkill, and we'll save that poll. Now whenever we vote for the poll, it will send us back the updated poll so we could update the front end basically. So let's try this out. So let's go ahead and make our post. So we make our post. We say we want to vote for a poll choice ID 5. So now we'll say 5. We might want to put well, you could probably vote for your own poll. Although something that we want to check for is if the user's already voted. Okay, the user you're looking for does not exist. Well, it's because I modified the wrong thing. Okay, let's go say 5 here. And do that. Here we go. We got the poll. And votes on here has the user. Cool. So that worked. So something that we do want to probably do is we probably want to check to see if any of the choices includes that user already. So we should grab the user maybe and then say a list of application user and say like current votes or something. Current votes is equal to a new array list. Application user, and then say oh shoot, let's say votes. We can just say PC or poll dot get choices dot for each choice. Oops, not equal to for each choice. For each choice, we'll say choice dot get votes dot for each, right? And then for each user. And then inside here, is this not a user? Let's see, lambda expression user cannot redeclare another local variable. We'll say vote user. I don't know. And we're just gonna say votes dot add, and we're gonna go ahead and add the vote user. And then we'll say before we do any of this, we'll just say if our votes dot contains our user, then we're just gonna return the poll. And we're not gonna update it, right? So we don't want the user to be able to vote twice, basically, is the idea here. And that was the whole reasoning behind doing that. Thanks for the like again. And it's a little bit messy, but let's go ahead and try it out. Let's go ahead and make a post. Okay, we made a post. Let's say that we want to vote for 5, right? Copy this. We say, okay, choice 5, send it in. Okay, so now choice 5 has me under the vote. Now say I want to vote for vote 6 now. With the user poll, with the Twitter poll, you can only vote once. Send it. Now you can see it just returned the poll. It didn't modify anything, and we only voted for that first poll. So that is working. I think that is good to go. We can create a poll. We can vote for the poll. Unfortunately, that's going to be it for today. If you guys enjoyed, please stick around for the next episode by hitting that subscribe button. You'll know exactly when it comes out, especially with that bell icon. If you did enjoy the content today, please sure to leave a thumbs up. If you did enjoy it, leave a thumbs down. Either way, it helps out with the algorithm all the same. And finally, if you have any suggestions or feedback for me, make sure you leave a comment down below. With that being said, I appreciate you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. Peace out, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.